Hello everyone, welcome to this video. My name is Miguel Escoto. I am a Sunrise Hub Coordinator for the chapter in El Paso. And I wanted to make this video to function sort of like an orientation video for people that are interested in being part of the Sunrise movement and want to learn more about what it is and want to learn more about what we do. So, first off, our mission is to stop climate change and create millions of good paying jobs in the process. This could be thought of in three pieces. Firstly, it's to make climate change an urgent priority across America. Secondly, to end the corrupting influence of fossil fuel CEOs in our politics. And thirdly, to elect leaders who stand up for the health and well-being of all people. So this is a little bit of our timeline. Beginning in 2017, Sunrise launched a no fossil fuel money campaign. And that translated over to the elections, and by November 2018, the sit-in in Nancy Pelosi's office started a national conversation about the Green New Deal, right? And the Green New Deal is how we define a lot of what our mission is supposed to be about. So if you go back to our mission, it's to create millions of jobs and to stop climate change. And this, with the Green New Deal legislation, we see this as a manifestation of what climate justice can look like. So I have a slide here about the Green New Deal philosophy. These are just 5 really important points of that piece of legislation. Firstly, it's to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions through fair and a just transition for all communities and workers. A big part of this, a big component of this legislation is to make the transition to renewables fair and just through all communities. Second point is to create good jobs that are high paying to ensure the prosperity of economic security for all people in the United States. The Green New Deal combines the principles of economic justice with the principles of environmental justice. And so our third point is to invest in the infrastructure and industry of the United States to sustainably meet the challenges of the 21st century. A fourth point is to secure clean air, water, and climate. And this is just a very, very basic principle within this legislation, that we have a right to live in a clean environment. Our fifth point is that the Green New Deal promotes justice and equity by stopping current, preventing future, and repairing the historic oppression of frontline and vulnerable communities. This frontline and vulnerable communities refers to populations that have been disproportionately affected by environmental injustice. So these are mostly people of color that historically have been affected by, it could be, an example in El Paso is how we see that a lot of industrial zones are located next to communities that are majority immigrants. Chamizal, for example. At Sunrise El Paso, we're going to be talking a lot about the history of environmental injustice in Chamizal, and this is part of what the Green New Deal talks about, that we have to address and repair historic oppression. So now I'm going to talk about some of the the nationwide initiatives of Sunrise Movement. So Sunrise Movement obviously is a nationally run organization, but that is supported largely by its local hubs. And so there are national initiatives, national objectives, but also local objectives. Later on in this presentation, we're going to be talking about more about local hubs, but these are some of the national initiatives that Sunrise has begun. So one component is direct action. Nonviolent peaceful protests. An example of this is occupying Nancy Pelosi's office and occupying Mitch McConnell's office. So particularly memorable was when a group of Sunrise volunteers occupied the office of Nancy Pelosi, protesting her unwillingness to support the Green New Deal. Because as we see, there are a lot of Democratic politicians who are supposed to be for the environment, but they don't go the extra step and they don't entirely embrace the Green New Deal. So a lot of what the Sunrise Movement tries to do is to pressure these politicians to adopt real, comprehensive environmental justice policies. And in the fall of 2018, when they occupied Nancy Pelosi's office, this brought about the phrase "the Green New Deal" into the mainstream political conversations, and as a result, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was able to support the Green New Deal. And so, yeah, direct actions is one form of nationwide initiatives. Another nationwide initiative is the Road to the Green New Deal. So the Sunrise Movement visited 8 cities across the country to share a vision of what the Green New Deal would look like to different communities. And this is a very important point, because what the Green New Deal could look like for Los Angeles or New York is different than what the Green New Deal could look like in our community in El Paso. So this road trip, this campaign, was dedicated to exploring what this initiative could look like for different cities. Another one is the climate debate, which was placing pressure on the Democratic National Committee to host a presidential debate that focused specifically on the climate crisis, while the Sunrise organizers at the DNC were protesting very passionately. They forced their way inside the chambers to pressure Democrats to support the climate debate. Unfortunately, the DNC recently voted against the resolution to hold a climate debate. But nonetheless, this campaign was very successful in bringing about the idea of a climate debate in our mainstream political conversations, and it demonstrated how our Democratic elected leaders aren't going as far as they should go. So those are some of the national initiatives. Next, I wanted to talk about the Green New Deal on a local level. So obviously, in the midst of the current climate emergency, the best possible solution, one of the best solutions, is to adopt the Green New Deal on a federal level. And while that might not be possible right now with the way Congress is set up, there have been cities that have passed their own Green New Deal on a municipal level, on a local level. This is an example is New York City's Green New Deal. one of the things that one of the components of their Green New Deal is that they commit to carbon neutrality by 2050 with 100% clean energy. And Los Angeles is another example of a city that has passed their own Green New Deal at a municipal level. Very similar. Theirs is actually a little bit more urgent. Los Angeles's Green New Deal calls for 55% renewable energy by 2025 and 100% by 2045. So, there are different local governments that have been passing the Green New Deal in their own municipal levels, and hopefully that's something that El Paso would be able to do. So that brings us to what a local hub is. And a local hub is where a group of community leaders, organizers, and concerned people that really care about the environment and want to see something happen come together to establish the mission of the Sunrise Movement in our own local government. And this is the backbone of Sunrise. The way it works is, like I said, a group of concerned young people come together and brainstorm ways to act on climate justice and go through with those actions. There are many different local hubs all over the country, and well, the fact that you're watching this video means that you're interested in participating in the one here in El Paso, and for that I commend you, I welcome you, and yeah, I'm really excited about what we will be able to accomplish. These are some of the resources that we have. We have a hub guide that Sunrise National has given us. There are coaching office hours, there are monthly hub coordinator calls, trainings, etc. I wanted to list some of the positions and roles that the leadership team of Sunrise El Paso. So we have the position of hub coordinator. This is a role that could be filled by one to three people. And hub coordinator the responsibility is to coordinate meetings, plan out a vision for your local Sunrise hub, and keep everyone accountable. Secondly, here we have action coordinator, which also could be filled up by 1 to 3 people. And an action coordinator, their responsibility is to research our local government and find out ways that we can pressure specific locally elected leaders. And their responsibility is to come up with creative direct actions or protests. Another role is the canvasser or the outreach team, and this team could consist of 1 to an infinite amount of people. Hopefully it's thousands of us, but this role is to go out on the streets and to talk to people, whether it be at football games or at concerts or at public venues, just talking to people about climate action and how we need to act right now to avoid environmental catastrophe. And somebody on this team would be able to say this better than I am, but they have conversations with people that would be interested. They ask them to join the team. They ask them to participate in our events, in our protests, etc. Another role is the coalition building team, which is 1 to 2 people. And this position is meant for people to reach out to our local community of activists and organizers. For example, the Familias Unidas de Chamizal or Eco El Paso, or reach out to Green Team UTEP and establish this relationship of collaborating and working together towards the common goal of environmental justice. Next, we have social media manager, which is pretty self-explanatory. Being in charge of our Instagram, our Facebook, and our Twitter, getting our message across and increasing our audience. And then we have the podcast manager. So a project that we are going to be launching is the Sunrise El Paso podcast, where we talk about local issues of environmental injustice, and we bring about the perspective of the Green New Deal and how that would look like in our municipal government. A podcast manager, which is 1 to 5 people, would be in charge of contributing to these podcasts, whether that be through research, interviewing experts, and recording episodes. But these are the positions that we have available for our leadership team, and we invite anyone to apply for these positions. The more, the merrier. The more powerful. And so, if you have any other questions, you can obviously contact somebody on the leadership team about these positions. But with that being said, I wanted to go straight into our principles. I just wanted to read over some of the Sunrise principles, because as a national organization, there are certain initiatives that are spearheaded by the national team, but it's really important that each local hub has its own manifestation of environmental justice. So what we have the liberty and the autonomy to choose whatever issues are important for us, as long as they stay within these principles. And so I wanted to read them out really quickly before I end this video. There are 11 of them, so here we go. First principle is that we are a movement to stop climate change and create millions of jobs in the process. We unite to make climate change an urgent priority across America and corrupting the corrupting influence of fossil fuel executives on our politics, and elect leaders who stand up for the health and well-being of all people. Second principle, we grow our power through talking to our communities. We talk to our neighbors, families, religious leaders, classmates, and teachers in order to spread our word. Our strength and work is rooted in our local communities, and we are always growing in number. Thirdly, we are Americans from all walks of life. We are of many colors and creeds, from the plains, mountains, and coasts. A wealthy few want to divide us, but we value each other in our differences, and we are united in a shared fight to make real the promise of a society that works for all of us. Fourthly, we are nonviolent in word and deed. Remaining nonviolent always allows us to win the hearts of the public and welcomes the most people to participate. We need maximum participation in order to achieve our goals. Fifth principle, we tell our stories and we honor each other's stories. We all have something to lose to climate change and something to gain in coming together. We tell our individual stories to connect with each other and understand the many different ways this crisis impacts us. Fifthly, we ask for help and we give what we can. We all have something to offer to this movement. Some of us give time through volunteering anywhere from 1 to 50 hours per week. Some of us give money. Some of us donate housing or meeting spaces. We invite our community into the movement by asking for the help that we need. Number 7, we take initiative. Any group of 3 people can take action in the name of sunrise. We ask for advice, not permission from each other to make this happen. To make decisions, we ask ourselves, does this bring us closer to our goal? If yes, we simply do the work that is exciting and makes sense. Number 8, we embrace experimentation and we learn together. We welcome imperfection, we share innovations, and we learn through honest mistakes followed by an honest conversation that helps us move forward together. If we see something we don't like, we contribute with something we do like, modeling an alternative. Number 9, we take care of ourselves, each other, and our shared home. We maintain our health of body, mind, spirit, and environment to the best of our ability so that we can maintain a strong movement together. We respect that each of us looks different. We respect that for each of us, this looks different. Number 10, we stand with other movements for change. Stopping climate change requires winning and holding power at every level of government. This is a huge job and we can't do it alone. When it makes sense, we work with other movements who share our values and are also working to win political power. Our last principle is we shine bright. There are hard and sad days, to be sure. This work isn't easy, but we strive to bring a spirit of positivity and bring hope to everything that we do. Changing the future is a fulfilling and joyful process. We let that show. Well, that does it for this presentation, this orientation video for El Pasoans who are interested in being involved in the Sunrise Movement. I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart that you all have the courage to be part of this movement, and I am looking forward to working together and bringing about some real change. Thank you.